We're going to talk about building your profile, because if we're going to drive a bunch of traffic to it, we want to have that first impression for you, right? Because your profile is like your first sales page. Imagine if you're walking into a store, a digital storefront. If that store it looks empty, or it looks confusing or irrelevant, would you want to keep browsing around or communicate with them? No, not so much. So we're going to fix that for you guys today. Your profile dictates whether people are going to Google you or ghost you. That first impression that they have is going to trigger research behavior. We want people to become more than just a reply. We want them to become invested. And before they can actually invest financially into our programs or services, they need to be invested in our content, in our links, and yes, they may even Google you. So a bad profile, they will ghost, because confusion kills that curiosity. And what confuses people most is an unclear profile. And an unclear profile gets you prejudged and categorized incorrectly. So if your profile isn't actively directing perception, people will make their own assumptions. Do we want them to make their own assumptions, or would it be better if we just told them exactly what we want them to believe about us? Oh, yes. And we don't want you to get slotted into like small time or spammy or the amateur bucket without even realizing it. And worse than that, it's almost impossible to reframe a first impression. So let's just take control of it right now. The algorithms are going to be able to control visibility, but your profile controls the narrative. This is the one part of the platforms that you actually get to own. Have you ever heard people say to you, you don't own your Facebook profile? You don't own your Instagram? What that means is, well, obviously Zuckerberg does. So make sure that you are building your email list, but also when you are building your platforms, make sure that you are owning that narrative, that every visitor that comes to your page or profile, you own the story that's being told. That story is how I can help transform your life, instead of just like, here's my title and a call to action. When people just throw up a title or a call to action without the thought behind it, that's what creates bland profiles. And a bland profile forces your DMs to work harder than they should. If your DMs are doing all the heavy lifting, your profile is failing you. So now what are they doing? They're questioning instead of converting. Having a great profile is what's going to shorten the sales cycle, because it's going to stack trust before you ever even speak. And when you have that trust, your profile becomes a passive salesperson that never sleeps. Does that sound awesome? So it's either building trust 24/7, or it's silently repelling leads. Like, you might not even know that the profile that you're the only one that control is accidentally repelling those leads. When you have this done right, your profile might be the only team member that is always working 24/7, around the clock, perpetually, forever, no days off. So is it converting cold traffic into warm interest, or is it quietly killing deals? So I want you guys to think about your profile like Netflix. Your profile is either a binge-worthy hit, or it's a flop that nobody clicks. What attracts you to actually make a decision to watch it? Because that's a conversion right there. Color stars, yeah. The actors in it that you want to see. The storyline, yeah, that log line. So imagine, these ones are great examples. I just screenshotted this last night, and obviously it's showing up in the algorithm based on my previous conversion behaviors on Netflix. And also, these are also top 10 TV shows in the US today. So it's also based on other people's behaviors that it's proven to work. If we look at this and we say, this is the good stuff, versus, let's take an example here. We already loved Stranger Things. What if there was a thumbnail that was just like, hey, here's this weird alien movie that you should watch? Which one would you rather watch? Stranger Things. There's some actors that we recognize. There's a storyline that's very intriguing. There's all these like cliffhangers that are insane that we got to keep watching. So imagine that your dream customer is scrolling you the way that you would scroll Netflix. They have options. Are you a show with a really good thumbnail and logline that's like, I gotta learn more about this? Or are you another meh that they're just going to skip? And the good news is that we get to control the preview. Okay, so the way that we have thumbnails and descriptions on Netflix, we want to have thumbnails and images and captions and content that's going to grab their attention. So your social media profile is the thumbnail and description of you. If it's boring, they're going to skip. If it's intriguing, they might binge. They might look at more of your content and reply. Okay, so your profile is your preview. We want it to be a must-click binge watch, not a background show that they just forget about. We don't want our profile to be the show that nobody watches. I hope you guys think about this a lot and observe your own behavior when you go to a profile. And this could actually be a good little exercise for you to do on your own next time you get a DM. Observe your emotional reaction when you go to the profile. What makes you interested or what totally disinterests you? You can also look at this like your profile is basically a dating app, but for clients. Swipe left on confusing profiles. Okay, so think about it like this. If your profile wouldn't get you a date, it won't get you a deal. So here's a bad dating profile. Anyone been on a dating profile in the last few years? Awesome. No one. Good for you. No profile picture. We think it might be a catfish. Sometimes there's bios on there that says just ask. Posts, if there's just like 3 blurry selfies and the vibe, 0 trust, 0 attraction. Confused profiles get ghosted in dating and DM. So here's a bad business profile that maybe they just have a logo as their profile picture or nothing. You ever see just like the silhouette outline that comes with your Facebook or Instagram profile? You have to actually put a picture of you. The bio, helping people live their best life. Isn't that so sweet? The post, they have just random quotes or personal pictures. The vibe, no clear value, no reason to engage. So if you go to contentforleads.com/DMs, and there is a little button on the top that is this audit worksheet. And we're going to go through this live right now. I'm going to go through a bunch of questions. And I want you guys to calculate how many check marks you got to mark off. So we're going to score yourself. So I'll let you know on the slides like how many check marks you get for each one. Okay, first one. Does your profile filter out the wrong people? And what this means is if you're trying to serve everyone, just like I love that story that Steve tells about the guy that's like, everyone drinks water. My customer is the entire world. No, it's not. If you're trying to serve everyone, you serve no one. We want to have push-pull language. We want to have dream customers that we can totally nurture. And we also want to have nightmare customers that we go, that's okay if you don't like me. I don't need to like you either. We can still love them, but they're not our customer. And we don't need to water down our message to try to make everyone like us. You can give yourself 2 check marks here if you say, yes, you are clearly calling out who you help and how. And would your dream client feel seen? And would someone else feel like this isn't for me? Next one. Do you have a profile vibe that matches your price point? Okay, you can get 2 check marks here. Does your tone, design, and content feel aligned with what you charge? Does your content look like influencer fun or expert value? Pick one. Is there a curiosity hook in your bio? Curiosity equals clicks. Boring bios will be skipped. And remember, we have less than 3 seconds to be able to grab this attention. So here's 2 more check marks you can give yourself. Do you have a phrase, claim, or result that sparks curiosity? For example, I help freelancers 3x their income without cold pitching. And if you don't, we're gonna make that for you next. And then the next one, would someone want to click just to learn more? Next one. Is there social proof in plain sight? So like, how have you proved that you're helping people? Because people trust who others trust. We want to know, will people do business with people that they know? And if they see that maybe a friend of yours recommends, it's so much easier to make a purchase decision, okay? So do you have pinned posts or highlights that show your client wins, your case studies, your testimonials? And if you're just starting out, or even if you've been in for a long time, do you show behind the scenes work or before and after transformations? Does your link, your CTA, pass the why now test? Because if the link is just optional, if there's like, yeah, you can get this later or whatever, like we kind of want to have some urgency and scarcity that they see that and go, oh, I need to get this now. I need to consume this now. Not just I'll opt in and it'll be in my inbox and it'll get buried with everything else that is urgent. Okay, links with urgency gets clicks. So does your CTA make them feel like they need to click it right now or later, maybe someday? And then as a bonus, if you can add some kind of a time-sensitive incentive, which what we like to do is say like, hey, this thing is starting on Monday. If you get this right now, we have a live Q&A that's happening on Friday. Something that is time-sensitive that they have to do this now to get the bonus. Are your top 3 posts, are they instantly binge-worthy? That they can go to a post and go, that was cool, let me see the next one. And let me see the next one. Let me see the next one. So your first 3 posts are kind of like your audition, that if they're going to consume that content, they might start to consume more. But if it's boring and bland, like we talked about before, they might leave forever and you never see them again. Okay, so would someone scroll and say, okay, I need to follow this? Did they get value, see authority, and feel your vibe in just 3 to 5 seconds? Does your profile tell a cohesive story without needing them to talk to you? Like if they can look at your profile and they're like, I don't know what this person does. If they would need to get more details from you to understand, they're not going to, because just like Netflix, they have so many other options, right? They're not going to take the effort to look into it. If they never read your DM, would they understand your value? Okay, so does your picture, your bio, your links, your post tell a clear, cohesive story of who you help, how, and what to do next? So your profile is proof of life. People aren't there to see your offer. When they look at your profile, first they want to kind of get to know if what they got in the DM makes sense. And they also want to know that you're a real person, that you exist, because people do business with people they know. So they want to be able to see your profile and immediately go, okay, there's something I can relate to here. It can touch on some kind of an emotion. So if your last post is like weeks ago, maybe this is a bot. Immediate click away. There's a lack of trust there. If the profile looks inactive, well, then that's risky to buy from, because if they're not updating their profile enough, are they going to ghost me on the back end on the service? Okay, regular content is proof that you're alive and kicking. And Rohit, he's only made one post, and I don't vibe with the bio. There's no contact information. It just doesn't resonate. You are one tab away from being forgotten. So if your profile, again, isn't memorable in 5 seconds, they will close the tab and never come back. And I found this morning, that it was someone's profile that, there's so much font. There's so much text going on here. It's like too much information. I'm not actually going to read it. And it's also so repetitive, which makes me feel like, is there intention going into this content? There probably is, and they probably really mean well, but we need to see a good variety, not just like, oh, I'll just throw this up here. When you're creating content, ask yourself that if your audience only came to your profile once, if this was your one shot, what do you want them to remember about you before they scroll away? And if you don't land that, they are going to forget about you forever. Profiles with a vibe are perceived as higher value. Anyone know Shalene Johnson? Love her content. And she's been killing it forever. And so people are going to assign a value based on how it feels to interact with your brand. So clean, intentional, branded profile. Look at her Instagram story highlights. She has different topics that people could click on and watch. So intentional branding. If it's sloppy or inconsistent, it's going to trigger cheap, even if your product is amazing. So most profiles are leaking leads in the link. A link to your homepage, if I sent people to just Marley Jaxx, there's too much information on there again. We want to have a very clear next step. Even if your link has no clear next step, they might go to the link, but then they're going to immediately click away. That bounce rate is going to be really high. So does your link, if it's in your bio or wherever it is, does it lead to a very clear call to action? Okay, so for example, let's see, Shalene Johnson's here. Her profile says over 50 health and fitness expert. Does that have good push-pull language? She's clearly talking to people who are over 50. And females, guiding midlife girlies to boost energy, shed pounds, and have more fun. So this is the big benefit of following her, because menopause is the ultimate after party. Comment queen for an invite. Clear call to action. Okay, next one, Instagram growth coach. I get you more followers and sales through Instagram. Average student grew 16,000 followers last year. That's a pretty cool bio. Shows the status, his accomplishments, what he's done, some social proof. CEO, podcaster, speaker, his titles there. DM me grow for a special sale. Good, makes sense. And then there's the link underneath it. Rachel Bell, I like her too. OG leadership and biz mentor for coaches. $7.9 million founder, where spirit meets strategy. 15,000 coaches trained. Insta sales course, and then points to the link below. Clear? Concise? Makes sense? Calls to the right audience? Just a quick, if this is your profile, what your profile is secretly saying about you. If you have just DM me for more info, it says, I don't know what I'm selling. And the DM me for more info, it can work, but your conversion is going to go so much lower because you're not calling out the very specific audience with the specific call to action you're trying to give them. If you have a vague bio, like the one we said before, what did we say? I'm helping people live their best life. Wah, wah. That's kind of saying I'm afraid to take a stand. What is the saying? If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything. We want to follow people that they clearly, look at Shalene Johnson. She's helping women over 50 with menopause. She's taking a stand for that. If you have no content, it's saying this is a hobby, not a business, or it's saying lazy and I don't know what I'm doing. And that's why you're here and we're here to help. All right. So if you also go to that link again, the contentforleads.com/DMs, it's in that same Google Doc, but I think it's the third tab down, high converting bio template. And Tony, since you asked, can I get you to share yours?
All right. So I have elite mindset and fitness coach. I help men who are executives and entrepreneurs get rid of their man boobs and get in the best shape of their lives. Works?
It works.
All right.
And it also has got some sting to it. You took a stand there.
Yeah.
So it clearly called out who he works with, the executives. Tell me how you said it again.
Executives and entrepreneurs.
Executives and entrepreneurs. Do you see what that's a higher status? That's someone that has money to spend on their fitness. Because if it was just I help men get fit, you might get some of the not executives that can't afford the high quality price that you are charging. And then tell me the part with the man boobs.
Oh, because look, every guy who's overweight, yeah, I'm overweight, but I don't have man boobs. No. If you're fat, you have man boobs, right? So let's call it what it is.
Say that line again.
Which one? If you're fat, you have man boobs?
No. I help men.
I help men who are executives and entrepreneurs get rid of their man boobs and get in the best shape of their life.
Amen. So good. All right. We love it. We love it. Who else wants to share? Peter in the back there.
Get it up again. Helping healthcare owners scale to multiple seven figures through coaching without working more.
Healthcare owners.
Helping healthcare owners scale to multiple seven figures through coaching without working more.
Awesome. Question. Healthcare owners, can that be, is it just doctors? Can it be nurses? Can it be people with spiritual healing businesses?
Anybody, I couldn't get the word practice owners with the healthcare. And I don't want to be medical because I work with anybody like PAs, NPs, anybody who owns a healthcare business.
Okay. I wonder if there's a way that we can specify that, because healthcare owners, I wonder if that's broad, but play around with it and test it out. What was the next line?
Scale to multiple seven figures through coaching without working more.
Yeah, that's great. Also, guys, I don't remember, Tony and Peter, if you had a DM or what the next call to action could be.
So I wrote speaker, best-selling co-author, book a free call.
Book a free call. Awesome. Did you have one? SpartanBodyFormula.com. Cool. Consider when people are finding your profile, this is going to, again, be another good observation when you are looking at someone else's profile. You're not selling to a stranger, you're selling to a skimmer. How often do you go to someone's profile and you study it, that you read every single word as if you were going to be taking a test on it later? Never. Okay, so people are going to look at your profile about this fast, and it has to grab their attention. No one's going to read word for word. They are just going to be skimming. Okay, so is your profile Skim-Proof, that they have the clear at-a-glance value? There's eye-catching line breaks and emojis. So sometimes emojis are too ChatGPT. We'll play around with that. But we want to have content that's really grabbing their attention and CTAs that are visible without scrolling. People decide if you're one of them within 3 seconds. People are going to buy from people who get them. Have you ever bought from someone even before you really knew what they were selling, just because you were like, they understand me? Okay, so visuals, language, and tone must make your client think this person gets me. Silence is still communication. Bad profiles speak very loudly. I love this, dies of cringe. How many times have you gotten a DM that you're just like, ew? Your profile is either closing the deal or closing the tab. So when your profile doesn't say anything about your business, about who you are, about why people should be following you, they're going to click right off. It screams, I don't know who I help. I'm not serious. You can't trust me. Wah, wah. Can I hear a wah, wah? Thank you. Thank you. These are the first things that they see. Again, that first impression. They are your personal billboard, but most people don't do this. Okay, so the pin posts, they're your prime real estate. They're the first things that people see. It doesn't have to just be the last thing that you posted. On Instagram, on Facebook, you can pin a post. So here's the pin post strategy. It's very simple, 3 steps. Value bomb that shows your expertise. Some kind of a social proof or testimonial. And for some people, I always get this question, like, what if I'm just starting? I don't have social proof. I don't have testimonials. Share how it works for you, or share a stat of why it's important in this online space or in your industry, even if you're brand new starting out. Okay, so value bomb, social proof / testimonials, and then your CTA or teasing that offer. People don't buy from profiles. They buy from people that they feel connected to. People do business with people they know. This is where the next most common question I get is, well, but how much personal content should I post? How much business content should I post? And the way that I see it is that business is personal. What you do for a living is your life. And people, when they're making decisions of who they're going to do life with, whether it's a business they're investing in that they're hoping is going to change their life, even if it's like their hairdresser or their landscape design, like they want that to impact their life and they want to do business with someone that cares about this. So I think that it's actually really valuable to kind of commingle the business content and the personal content. Because if it's just all business, you feel robotic. If it's too much personal, it feels like it's just a hobby. And people need to create content and be so passionate about what you do and be loud enough, long enough for people to believe in how much you believe in what you do. So don't just be like, I made this post and I made this video and I told people that I coach people with their mindset. But like they should know that because I made that video last year about it, right? You have to be so consistent in how you're showing up and blending both, because that's going to make you relatable, trusted, and hireable. People want to be able to see the personal and the professional. Sometimes the things that people will connect with you on have nothing to do with business. I've hired people because we had the same taste in movies, because we went to the same places on vacation. And then because of that connection, it's like, well, I trust them because I see a part of myself in them. You resonate with people. So the magic formula, business plus personal equals that profitable connection. Makes you 3D. That's a great way of putting it. Absolutely. And it matters because when you have that 3D, love that you worded it like that, your DMs are going to hit harder because people feel like they know you. And when your content feels real, it's not as salesy. But even when you do have just like a straight direct CTA, a sales post, they know how much you believe in what you do. So it's okay to have those calls to action. If you feel like you're creating content that's like slimy, salesy, maybe it's because you don't have enough of a balance of the personal content that connects to people first. And maybe you haven't put enough value for you to feel comfortable with that call to action. But people also, they remember you because they feel something, because they resonate. And that's what's going to create engagement before you ever even pitch, and trust before you try to close a sale. Your pinned posts are like your mini funnels. So here's the formula for this. Hook them, prove it works, and then show them how to buy. Okay, so that was the example we showed before, where you have the value bomb, the social proof, and a CTA/offer.
So we're doing this for the post that we pin?
Yeah. So for example, on your Instagram or Facebook, you can pin the first post that they see.
Okay.
And we want that first post to be something that has a clear call to action that will get them to your site.
Is it a video or just a picture?
It can be anything. It can be a post. It can be a picture. It can be a picture with that text. And then also having intro posts. You can have some of your pinned posts can be like those value posts, like your mini funnel posts, but also having an intro post where people can get to know who you are. And one that I really like is the fun facts about me, or things that you probably didn't know about me. And I like this one that is again in your document. If you're new here, hi, let's get acquainted. Here's 5-7 things you probably didn't know about me. And these are just prompts. You can always fill this in with other things. If you have like some crazy fun facts or wild things that you ever play the game like 2 Truths and a Lie, those are the kinds of things that should go into this post about you. So that's also in your document, having an introduction post that can be one of your pinned posts, or something that you even just post every month or 2. That is it. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Thank you.